Y'all, I about had a heart attack. I don't know if you can see this. See that? That little dinosaur right there? It's my grandbaby's dinosaur. I totally thought that was a rat sitting there. I about lost my stuff. Hey everybody, welcome back to Two Oak Rose Homestead. Shelly here. And I wanted to show you something. We got chickie babies. I always get so excited when we have new chicks. We had 24 eggs in our incubator. 12 of them were ours from our chickens, and the other 12 were from a friend. So those are going to be just different chickens all the way around. Not any particular breed, just you know, farm chickens, I guess. And yeah, so these guys are hatching out, and my cat Abbott is staying right here with them. He keeps looking at the cage, or you know, trying to get up here and look and see what's in there. Of course they're protected by this, but oh, sorry guys, I didn't mean to wake you up. Take a rest. So now I'm going to go outside and get the brooder ready, because if you're ever doing this, these guys can stay in here for about 48 hours. They have plenty of food and everything that they had in their eggs and everything, so they're good for about 48 hours. That's actually why when you order chicks from an online store, you get them within 48 hours and they've not had food or anything, but it's because they can survive for up to that long. But I'm gonna get the brooder ready and get everything straightened up in there, so they'll be ready to go out there hopefully tomorrow. You can see right here, there's one that's getting ready to break out of this one. And this one is actually, yeah, this one's got a crack right there. There's a bunch of them that are getting ready. Here's one over here that's got, well, both of those have little holes poking out. So I have a feeling we're gonna have a really great incubation or great hatching rate. So pretty excited about our little spring chicks. So a few of the things that you're gonna need when you're raising chicks, whether you're hatching out your own chicks or buying chicks at a, you know, like a Tractor Supply or a Rural King or something like that, you're going to need a place for them to grow. We have this brooder right here. However, we didn't, when we first started doing this, when we first started raising chickens, brought chicks home and we didn't have a setup like this. So what I did, I basically took one of those extra large totes, the ones that are a little bit longer than your regular size tote. And I took chicken wire and kind of fashioned a lid that was a little bit bigger than the tote. And I, you know, folded the corners around to make a lid to go over the tote. And then you're able to set a heat lamp on top of that, on top of the chicken wire, and they're able to stay warm. The reason that you need a place like that for them to grow out is because baby chicks can't regulate their body temperature. So they need to stay, it needs to be like somewhere around 90 degrees, basically. So, and they need to be like that, really until they're fully feathered out. You'll be able to tell when they're able, you know, they'll start coming out away from the heat lamp more. Or if you have a brooder plate like that right there, I need to take that in and wash it up. But if you have one of those or a heat lamp, it doesn't matter. You just kind of need to be careful with the heat lamp because they can be dangerous. You need to make sure they're secured and they're not going to fall down where your chicks might get burnt, or they're not going to cause a fire if you have that brooder in your house. And I will tell you this, and we've done this before, if you keep the brooder in your house, you will get dust everywhere. Like no matter where you put it, you will get dust because chickens just make dust. So yeah, there's that if you decide to keep them in your house. And my arm's getting tired from holding my phone. I'm sorry. So some of the things that you're going to need a feeder that you can put food in for them. You need chick starter. We prefer to buy a chick starter that's not medicated, but I mean, sometimes it's basically what you can find, right? You need a heat source. Like I said, you can either use one of these heat plates or you can use a heat lamp. That's fine too. And then you also need water. They need water all the time. And even when you put them into the brooder, you want to stick their little beaks down in the water so they know where to find the water. You can also, the lip on this is not real deep, but it is a little bit. So what I may do is put some rocks down in the bottom of this so they can't, you know, like get down in there and maybe another one step on them or something like that and drown. That kind of keeps that from happening. I've never had that happen. I've heard other people talk about it happening, so I don't know. But one of the things that I wanted to touch on is I know that, you know, everybody on here has heard about over the last couple months that, you know, chickens weren't laying eggs. They weren't producing, and they're thinking that that was like from feed or whatever that they were getting at a particular store and all of that kind of stuff. One of the things that you need to remember about chickens is that they kind of have a season. They don't last. I mean, chickens don't live forever. Let's see, we bought our first flock in the fall of 2020. And so they started really producing. I think we bought them in September of 2020, and they started really producing around January, February, something like that. And so our chickens are going on our original flock, and we have, let me think, 4, 5, 6 out of our original flock of 10 that we bought, and one of those 10 was king. We thought we got all hens, but we ended up, he was thrown in the mix, so we had 9 hens and king. And so we have 6 left out of that original flock. And we had a couple weeks back in December that we were only getting like 1 egg a day. Sometimes not even that. Honestly, we didn't think anything about it. We hadn't changed their feed. We hadn't done anything. We get our feed from a co-op place here in Kentucky. And, but the days get shorter. And when the days get shorter, the chickens they don't lay as much. And that's kind of a normal thing that people who raise chickens, they realize when that happens. And there are people out there who will put lights in the chicken coop. So they have a longer light during the day and not so short days. Randy and I kind of feel like, you know, God designed them that way to kind of stop laying in the wintertime or slow down laying in the wintertime. And, you know, the days get shorter, they don't lay as often, and we just kind of think that's the natural way of doing things. So we don't do anything to alter their light or anything like that to make them lay more. But I will say this. Like I said, our girls are going on, they'll be 3 years old, I guess, in September, our original flock. And now is the time that they're not going to be laying as much as they have, you know, as the last 3 years that they've been alive. They do kind of slow down a little bit. And that's one of the main reasons why you need to replenish your flock. I mean, you need to be every year adding a few more layers to your flock if you want to keep that egg production up for your family, or whether you sell them or whatever you do with your eggs. And I think that, you know, a lot of people may have got into raising chickens in 2020 because of everything that was going on. And maybe you just don't realize that, oh, okay, we're getting a little bit further along in the chicken's life and they're not as productive as they were when they were 6 months old or whatever. And I just kind of feel like that has something to do with it. So we hatch out eggs. Last year we hatched out eggs, I don't know, like 3 different times, I think. Well, one of them was a a flock of guineas that we hatched out. And you know, people that we know that need chickens, we've given chickens away. We've added chickens to our flock. We sold all of our guineas. That was, or all the guineas that we hatched out, because remarkably, I don't know if this is the case across the board, but our guineas are not good parents. Like, they lay eggs, and guineas will not lay eggs all year. They only lay them, you know, like when it's warm out, or our guineas do. But yeah, they are not good parents. And when you put the guineas, I don't know, they may be good parents if they hatch out the eggs themselves. I'm not sure. But we hatched out the eggs in our incubator and then tried to put those guineas in with our flock. There was 5 of them the first time, and they ran all 5 of them off. And they went out in the woods that are on the lower part of our property. And every once in a while we would hear them, like in the evening or whatever, calling out, but I don't hear them at all now, so I don't know. They may be all gone. We never were able to get them back. So all of the guineas that I've hatched out since then, I just sold and let somebody else to take them over. But we have pretty good success hatching out chickens and incorporating them into our flock. And that's what we're going to do every year. I think this year I may ramp up hatching out chickens, because what we do is right out there, our turkey, what originally was our turkey coop, we put roosters in there and raise them in there. And then we put hens in with, you know, we add them to our layers over here, where right back there, right in this pen. And the roosters, when they grow out, we'll harvest them and put them in the freezer. And so we've bought chickens from an online hatchery one time, and that's fine. I mean, a lot of people do that, and it's cool and everything. But when it came time to process those birds, we had like 46 chickens that we processed in one day. And I'm just going to tell you, that was not fun. I mean, it like to killed us. My daughter Jessica came over and helped with that, and we got it done and got them in the freezer, but that's not something that I want to do again. I would much rather do like 10 or 12 at a time and not that big amount. But, so yeah, just keep that in consideration when you're thinking about getting into raising chickens and having, it's a great way to have, you know, fresh meat. You know what your animal's being fed. You give them a good life and process them humanely. And they're not living, I mean, I hear horror stories about these chickens that they just overfeed and they get so big that they can't even walk, and they're just pretty much breast running around. That sounded weird, I know, but it is what it is. And they don't ever even see the light of day. I don't like that. So they're a great way to provide meat for your family. They're a great protein source for eggs. If you don't ever want to harvest them, you can just let them live out their life and provide eggs for you until they pass away on their own. It's fine. And if you can let them free range, you gotta kind of protect them, and you've got predators running around and everything, but you can let them free range. They'll dig for bugs. If you have dual purpose birds, a lot of them are great about finding their own food. So there's that too. But, you do, back to the brooder. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a rant or whatever. I mean, it wasn't really a rant, but people just need to realize, you know, how chickens work, I guess. But we buy this fine pine bedding from Tractor Supply. The last time I bought this, it was like $5 a bag. That was last fall. It may have gone up. It may be more now. I don't know. But I'll put a layer of that in here. And we go back and forth with, let me show you. So like I said, when we first started raising chickens, we kept them in a tote that had a chicken wire lid over the top of it. A guy that Randy works with, his father built this for us, and it actually has these, let me see if I can get up here and show you. You can't see it from that side. Let me show you from this side. It has these light fixtures on the top of it. and then you just plug a cord into it. They're wired into each one, and then a cord, and you can plug it into the wall. Or, so you can use heat lights, heat lamps, or you can use a heat plate like that one. So I put in a layer of that fine pine bedding in here. You shouldn't use cedar bedding. I know that smells good, but cedar can make your chicks sick. It's not good for them. So this is about 3 inches thick. And as they, I mean, this will get cleaned out periodically, but as they poop and pee and scratch that around, it'll generate a little bit of heat in here. So that's good for them as well, since we're having these cold days. The thing that I like about this heat plate, and I've got 2 of these, the other one's in the basement. This one needs to be cleaned off, obviously, but it has adjustable legs. So I can actually pull this out and adjust the height of these. So where I have my pine bedding 3 or 4 inches deep, I can put that in there and figure out how deep I need it and adjust it. And then all of the little chicks can go up and get underneath that. This is designed for about 30 to 40 chicks. And no, I want to say 30, because I think I have 2 of these. Yeah, I do. Okay, I have 2 of these, and I got 2 because I needed enough for 60. So these are good for about 30 chicks when they're small. And it's just supposed to be like sitting under their mama. And then as they get bigger, we'll stick a heat lamp in there, and they'll be able to just get up under the heat lamp. But you just have to make sure that you regulate their temperature and make sure they stay warm. So I'm getting this ready for tonight, getting the bedding in there and everything. And then I'll go in and wash all of this stuff up. I'll probably plug that in the morning so it can be out here heating up. And then when I come home from work tomorrow, I can bring the chicks out here and put them in the brooder, and they'll be nice and warm. Another thing that you need to think about, you need chick starter, like I said earlier. And then you'll also need chick grit. And what grit is, it's just little bitty rocks, and chick grit is small rocks. Let me show you. I've got some regular grit in here for our chickens. And we don't go through a lot of grit because they're outside and it's rocky and they can just pick up rocks as they need them. So this is regular grit, and it's basically just little rocks that your chickens will walk along and pick up as they need them. They know when to eat this, and it goes into their gizzard, and then it grinds their food up so they can digest it. So basically I just come out here when I think about it, and fling it over into their area. And that's just when I think about it, because like I said, we have lots of rocks around here that they'll pick up. But it's good to get chick grit because, which that is even finer rocks, finer pieces of rock. And I'll be honest with you, I have in the past gone out and taken regular grit and put it on a rock and beat it with a hammer to make finer grit for the chicks, just because I couldn't find grit at the store. Sometimes that happens. So it's possible to do that as well, but that helps them, that gets them started on having that good digestive process so they can digest their food adequately. That's all I can think of right now. I just wanted to give you all an update because I always get excited when I have little new chickie babies. And I love raising chickens. You can tell because Crystal bought me 7 chicken shirts for Christmas. And one of them was the Breakfast Club with all the chickens, laid out like the guys from the movie. It was so cool. So anyway, I hope y'all have a blessed evening. If you have any questions about chickens, you can leave them in the comments down below. I actually feel like I'm getting to the point where I know some stuff about homesteading. No joke, y'all. If me and Randy can do this, any of y'all can do this, for real. So I'm going to get off here because it's cold in Kentucky And it's getting dark outside. I know on the video it still looks kind of light, but it's not light. It's getting dark out here and it's cold. So y'all have a blessed evening, and I'll show you some more pictures of the chickie babies soon. Talk to you later. Bye. Yeah, God bless you. Have a great day.